Hello and welcome to another video. So today, as you will have seen from the title, I'm doing an unhaul. Now I highly doubt this unhaul is going to be as brutal as the one I did at the beginning of the year because in that unhaul I got rid of over 100 books, and I genuinely do not think I've got 100 books here that I want to get rid of. But nevertheless, I'm going to try and be a bit brutal. I am starting off, I've already taken some off of my shelves, so I'm just going to go through those ones first, and you're only really going to see these ones today because the other ones I can't set up the camera. So I'm going to do these, I'm going to do the ones I've got in front of me, I'm going to do these bookcases, and then I'm going to just go and grab some from them, and then I'll show you what I'm getting rid of. So starting with the pile of books that I have already taken off my shelves. First up we have Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I'm absolutely gutted about this because I DNF'd Strange the Dreamer. I was about 170 odd pages into this, and I just couldn't continue. I was bored, I wasn't getting along with the story, and yeah, I unfortunately am getting rid of these. Next up we have The Heir and the Crown by Kiera Cass. This is the 4th and 5th book in the Selection series, and as far as I'm concerned, the Selection series was a trilogy. I DNF'd this 142 pages in. I absolutely hated it. Absolutely hated it. So these are going. Next up, I still have my bookmark in here. We have A Queen in Hiding by Sarah Kozloff. I'm really gutted about this. It was actually June or July last year I started reading this. I got 195 pages in. I still have my bookmark and it's time. I've not picked it back up. I'm done. Next we have The Fandom and the Fandom Rising by Anna Day. I really enjoyed The Fandom. Not enough to reread it, but I enjoyed it. However, I am not going to read the sequel. All I have heard about it is bad things that make me not want to read it. So I'm not going to keep them. So they're going. Next up we have Solitaire by Alice Oseman. I have never read this. However, this is a cover that does not match these covers, and I have since replaced it. So it's nothing on the book. I've not read the book. I have another copy, which I will keep. This one is going. Then we have This Golden Flame by Emily Victoria. Again, I haven't read this. This is nothing on the book. It's just this is the Fairy Loot edition, and in the same month it came in a Litjoy, and I prefer the Litjoy cover. So I'm keeping the Litjoy cover and gonna just unhaul the Fairy Loot one. Next up we have The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. I read this and it was one of my least favourite books of the year. So unfortunately I am gonna unhaul this. I am gutted because it was one of my most anticipated books of the year and it was just a disappointment to me. So yeah. Next up we have a trilogy which I really enjoyed, and I'm unhauling because I'm giving them to my mum because I think she'll really like them, and that is the Witch's Kiss series by Catherine and Elizabeth Corr. Again, I really liked these. I enjoyed them so much. I thought the series wrapped up perfectly, and I think all 3 of them got 4 stars, but I am not sure if I will ever read them again. But I know my mum wants to read them, so I'm going to give them to her. And to be fair, if I do ever want to read them again, I can just borrow them off my mum. Okay, so that was all the ones I've already pre-taken off of my shelves. Now, I'm going to have a look on these shelves and see what can go. I am going to put my fan on because it is hot. It's really hot in my room, but let's go. Okay, so I've just gone through these 2 shelves and I have a pile. I'm proud of myself. So first up we have The Jumbies by Tracy Baptiste. I really enjoyed this. It is so unbelievably creepy and I do want to read the sequel. However, it's not one that I'm going to reread, so this one unfortunately is going to go, but I do highly recommend this. I really enjoyed it and we love a creepy middle grade. Next up we have Ember and the Ice Dragons by Heather Fawcett. Again, I enjoyed this, but it's just not one I will reread. I think it got 3 or 4 stars, but yeah, I'm not going to reread it, so don't need to keep it. Next up we have Monstrous Volume 1 by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. I feel really bad about this because this was actually gifted to me. However, I read it and wasn't a massive fan. I am really disappointed actually, and it did get 4 star, but I think that was mostly because the artwork was incredible, but just for story I just wasn't feeling it and I'm not going to continue. So I feel really bad because it was gifted, but I can't keep everything because it would just take up too much room and I'm not going to continue the series or reread. So yeah, I'm sad about this one. Next up we have Dangerous Alliance by Janique Cohen. This I am really unsure about because I really enjoyed this. This is an ostentatious romance. This is like the main character basically is a massive Jane Austen fan and she wants to be like a main character in an Austen novel, and nothing is drawing me to pick this back up and reread it as much as I did enjoy it the first time. So I just don't want to take up a space because it's a fairly chunky one, so it's taking up space that could be used on another book. So yeah. Then we have Pumpkinheads and Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell. I have sort of discovered that I'm only really a fan of her Simon Snow series. I am keeping Fangirl because that book was sort of like, that's more of a sentimental thing because I really enjoyed it. I related to the main character, but these ones I liked, but I don't see myself rereading. So they're going. So next up we have The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I am never going to reread this and I have purely kept this for sentimental value because this book absolutely broke me. I have literally been keeping this for sentimental value only and I just don't want it on my shelves anymore, which is a shame. And then I was going to get rid of Let It Snow by John Green, but you know what, I'm actually going to put this back because I actually really love this book. So that one's going back. I'm not unhauling that one. And then the final ones I took off these shelves, I don't know, it's the Caraval trilogy by Stephanie Garber. I really enjoyed these. However, I'm not a fan of the ending. So they all got 4 stars, but Legendary is my favourite. And it was going in a direction that I really enjoyed. And then Finale just ruined that for me. I wasn't happy with who Teller ends up with. Just felt it was just so predictable and didn't like it. And I wanted it to go the other way and it didn't. And yeah, I'm just never going to read it again, which is a shame. Okay, so we already have a pretty good pile. I'm now going to go over there and see what there is. So I've got a smaller pile from the rest of the shelves. There wasn't that many, but I do have some more. So first up we have On the Island by Tracy Jarvis Graves. I absolutely loved this book when I first read it when I was like 19. However, the more I think about it, the more I see the problems, and I genuinely don't think I would enjoy it if I reread it. So I'm just gonna unhaul this. Next up we have The Stars We Steal by Alexa Don. I really enjoyed this. However, I read this as the first in a series and I cannot find anything to say that this is a series, and I'm really disappointed because I want more from it. I feel like it wasn't wrapped up enough at the end. So if it does turn out that it is a series, then I will just repurchase this one, but I'm not going to keep it on my shelves in the hopes that there is another book in the series. So yeah. Also, if anyone knows if this is the first in a series, please let me know because I would love to know. Then we have The Fascinators by Andrew Eliopoulos. This came in a Lit Joy last year. I read it, loved it, was really excited for a second book because of the way this one was left off. And then I saw the author tweet about it being a standalone, and I've never wanted to get rid of a book so quickly in my life. I am so disappointed that this is a standalone. It made me change my rating on Goodreads because I wasn't happy with it, because it does not read like a standalone, and I think the author's made a mistake making it just a standalone, quite frankly. Next up we have Outwalkers by Fiona Shaw. Now I really enjoyed this. This is like a dystopian style book and I really enjoyed it, but I just don't think I'm going to reread it, so it goes. Next up we have Master of One by Jada Jones and Danny Bennett. I was really excited about this. This was one of my most anticipated books, and then Liv DNF'd it. And her reasoning for DNFing it made me not want to read it. And then I saw loads of other people saying exactly the same thing as Liv did. And it's just put me off reading it, so I'm just not going to bother and I'm going to get rid of it. And then the final book, I'm just having one more quick look. Not the final book. We'll do this one and then I'm going to go get another 2 books. It's A Golden Fury by Samantha Cahill. Never going to read it. It came in a book box and it just doesn't interest me. Nothing on the book whatsoever. Not read it obviously, so I don't know. I've not heard anyone talk about this, but the book itself just doesn't interest me, so there's no point me keeping it. I'm really sad to be doing this. But we have Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. I absolutely loved this book, to the point that it is signed and personalised. I unfortunately did not meet her because my friend could only take one person, so I said to take my other friend instead of me, and then they took my book to get it signed and personalised. Loved this book so much. I have not read this, however, I have not heard anyone talk positively about this. They said it's terrible. And that's harsh, I know. I'm not saying that. I'm saying what other people have said. And I am just not feeling the need to pick it up. So I think this could be a series I just DNF the series. Loved this one, probably won't read this. And I think there's a 3rd book, which obviously will also not pick up. But I'm really gutted because I loved this and was so excited for this, especially after how this one ends. But yeah, it's just taken up too much space. It's taken up a lot of space that other books could be filling. So yeah. Okay, so that's not a massive unhaul, but I still got rid of 31 books. So I would say that's a success. Genuinely actually really happy with that, because that's 31 spaces on my bookshelf that I can put other things in, which I've got a lot of books I need to find space for, so I'm really happy with that. And I'm looking at 2 other books and I'm like, do I get rid of those? No, we're about to make it 33. Okay, we have Renegades and Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I'm not going to get rid of my copy of Cinder because that one still interests me. But these 2 just, they interested me when I bought them, obviously. But they've been sat on my shelves for like 3 years now and I'm still finding no motivation to pick them up. So it's time to go. They're going. So 33 books, not 31. I do genuinely think that's it now. I'm going to leave it there. I think that's it. If I do have any others, then I'll just unhaul them in a vlog or something. But I do genuinely think that is it. I am now doing this thing where book box books, unless it's ones that I know I'm going to get to, like these, or like their sequels or whatever, they are going on my middle tray of my new TBR cart because they are hopefully going to get to read soon. I feel like I'm more likely to pick them up if they are in the tray rather than just on my shelves. For example, this was on my shelf for a year before I got to it, and I've now got the sequel. Like, I enjoyed it, so that's good, but it took me a year to get to it. So I'm hoping if they're in the cart, I can sort of like pick at least 1 or 2 a month to read, because obviously I get at least 2 book boxes a month, so they can then be rotated. But there was my unhaul. If I have unhauled or said anything bad about any of your faves, I am sorry, but I'm not keeping them. A majority of the special editions I will probably put up on my eBay, but the rest of them I'm probably just going to take to the charity shop, because I actually have a bag of clothes that I need to take to the charity shop this week. So I think I might take a bag of books as well. Funnily enough, that's the charity shop I got these from. But oh well, it's fine. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye.